Well, I can say what a finish, but I won't say what a race. This Talladega race was exactly what I was afraid of. We saw drivers running partial throttle half the race and saving fuel, while in the final laps it was only decided between two lanes of cars and no moves were possible to be made. In this video, I'm going to be giving my honest review to the 2024 Geico 500. First off, we weren't sure what kind of race we would see, as earlier in the season in the Daytona 500, we saw drivers saving fuel and running half throttle for a majority of that race. And then when the pay window was finally open in the 500, you really only saw two lanes of cars and there was no momentum to move up in the pack. We saw the exact same thing today, and I'll tell you what, this is an embarrassment to superspeedway racing. We went from having the greatest superspeedway package in history to this lousy excuse. I don't get how we are in year 3 of this car, and the executives don't see how pathetic these superspeedway races are and go, oh wow, we should probably change something. People got hooked onto NASCAR for the bigger tracks like Talladega and Daytona in the past, and now the racing is so lousy and is too wide for a majority of the race, there's nothing going on. I can't see people falling in love with the sport if that's the type of racing we have on our most exciting tracks. In the first two stages when gas was being saved, you saw 3-wide racing, but still, nobody is going anywhere because they're all running the same speed at half throttle. They aren't racing, they're just rolling around. I talked about this in my Daytona video, I'm going to bring it up again. This race passes our eye test because we see 3-wide and we immediately think, wow, that's attractive racing and there's a lot of action. The lead pack with 30 cars is running a whopping 175 miles per hour, and the people who are pitting by themselves are gaining time at full throttle. By themselves, they're gaining on 30 cars. No one wants to lead the race. Everyone just wants to save fuel for 75% of the race. The green flag flies and immediately cars begin to save fuel at half throttle, but because they're 3-wide, it passes the eye test and people just think it looks attractive. But if you look more in depth, this is not real racing like it used to be. Then when it was the last 20 laps, we saw a 2-lane parade till the final 500 yards. No one in the back could advance forward when the cars were running full throttle, and it's all because of this shit car design with the aero or horsepower. I don't even know at this point. I'm just so frustrated that super speedways, short tracks, and most road courses are ruined with this car. You have guys that are talented on this style of racetrack like Ryan Blaney, and he is stuck in 20th place for the final 20 laps because you can't generate runs or get out of line and go to a third lane at full throttle. Imagine if Dale Sr. raced with this package. He probably would never have been recognized as the GOAT of Talladega or drafting in general because he'd be stuck in traffic and not being able to move just like we're seeing right now. I encourage everyone to speak their minds truthfully about this too, because we have people who are big on social media for NASCAR or executives of the sport in an aspect who are saying nothing is wrong. There is something wrong, and we must take some type of stand and not continue to put up with this. Can you imagine watching another 10 years of superspeedway races like this? It wasn't always like this in the 2000s, in the late 90s, and even with the Gen 6 car towards the end. Yes, we had single file racing in some of the races, but still, once they hit that 2019 to 2021 package, I don't know why they would throw that all away for this new car. It just doesn't make sense to me. And there really isn't anything to fix this besides removing stages from superspeedways, because NASCAR will never change or admit their precious next-gen car is bad. So you have to remove stages maybe, so then that way saving gas isn't as bad and the cars are actually running full speed for the full race. But again, it's not even that. It's just the design of this car doesn't allow for the aero, or for whatever reason, you can't get in a third lane at full throttle. Another aspect of this race, once again, the Fox production team. It was atrocious in this race. We get commercials with less than 5 to go in stages, we miss wrecks, and then we can't even get a decent shot of the massive crash coming to the finish. They're too busy showing the race-winning car while we have guys crashing and flipping coming to the checkers. This production team is hands down the worst, and on top of that, I'm really curious to see how they do once Amazon and TNT come next season. They're going to broadcast races. I guarantee you Fox will probably be the worst of the 4 broadcasters next year. Alright, let's talk about some of the positives from this race, and one of them is actually comical, and that's the Toyotas using a 1000 IQ play by pitting together and then taking themselves out in one wreck. It's kind of funny to think about. Even though most of them got wrecked out, Toyota still went on to win. Tyler Reddick winning is big for NASCAR, especially when Michael Jordan was there. This could be another big moment with the next gen in the sense of publicity, but we'll really have to see what it does with the ratings moving forward, because other than the finish, the race was lackluster. But really, this could get on ESPN, SportsCenter, or other main media outlets because Michael Jordan attended it, and really, you know, when you have the GOAT of another sport, or one of the GOATs of another sport, if we were to get into a debate, it brings traction, so this is really a big thing for NASCAR. Hopefully it can capitalize on some new viewers. I am bummed for Brad Keselowski. He had another great chance to win this week and just fell short, and Ford in general. They were right there and just everything fell apart in the tri-oval. People are going to be talking about that McDowell block. I think it's the right move. It's checkers or wreckers at that moment, and it didn't seem like he made a late block where he cut off Brad Keselowski and spun himself off the nose, as he was still maybe cleared by less than an inch, but the air just got him and pulled him around. I'm honestly surprised he didn't go over, but we did see a flip in the race, continuing a long streak of flips in Cup Series events for a good number of years now. Corey LaJoie did his best Joey Chitwood impression. He rolled the wall after he flipped once, and then after he came across the finish line, he flipped again. He helped keep the streak alive for another year, so I mean, there is that to look forward to. My rating this week, with all things considered, is a 7 out of 10. Deserving, as it wasn't as good as Atlanta, obviously, but better than the short track so far. I'm going to say that this and the Daytona 500 are about the same in terms of actual racing. I feel like most superspeedway tracks, minus Atlanta, if they make Texas a superspeedway, who knows? Maybe it'll be the same as Atlanta. But right now, Talladega and Daytona are following the same script moving forward. I will predict it until they change something with these cars. You're going to see fuel saving, you're going to see this fake 3-wide racing, and then you're going to see 2-wide for the last however many laps, because this car design does not allow for aero moves to be made, and I just don't understand how. Because we had that great package 2019 to 2021, and they threw it away. But like most things with NASCAR, they're good at shooting themselves in the foot. So let me know what you guys thought of the race, and be honest. I want to hear your opinions in the comments. I appreciate you all for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.